correct.
Come correct.
These guys come correct. Come correct. Comin Correct. Come correct.
What's up, everyone? This is Comin Correct, where we talk about our goals, hold one another accountable, speak over our career visions, and just build a community and network together. I'm Joshua Moore.
I'm Joe Yerkins.
Ricky Rosado.
Riley Rosado.
And today we're going to be talking about how fitness really just applies to our life in the past and now. So you guys want to introduce what we'll be talking about?
Yeah, so, you kind of just introduced what we were talking about. To dive farther into it. So, our first topic that we're going to touch on is our fitness background and kind of what workouts we did in the past, how they were structured, and how that kind of transitioned well into college, and then our current workouts that we're doing now, and then kind of to tie it all in, like how fitness, serves as like motivation and drives your daily mindset.
So yeah, I can start us off with the background. So I played mainly baseball as I grew up. I dabbled in basketball, as well as my dad's a big golf head. But I play for fun, casually, but I'm not too good. If you want to bet me, we can
watch
something going.
Watch the Masters.
I didn't watch it, but go Tiger! But yeah, so I played baseball growing up. I have an older brother. He's 3 years older than me, so we really bonded over baseball. We're always taking grounders in the driveway, as well as my cousins, Luke and Jake. Shout out! We would act like we were on travel teams in the summer. Wake up at 7 o'clock and take BP and ground balls. So it's a big part of my life. One of the biggest things I took away from baseball is the patience aspect. You only get a couple at-bats a game, and if you don't do exactly as what you were looking for, what the coach needed or the team needed in that time, you have to be mentally strong as well as emotionally strong to just wait for that second at-bat and just kind of keep a clear head and a level head to just be ready for that next outing. And then the second thing that I could take away from early fitness is just not taking the weight room seriously. So if you still are in high school and you want to get to that point where you're at the top tier and you can just be with the elite athletes that you see on D1 baseball levels or any sport really, just take the weight room seriously. Not necessarily lifting a lot like me and Riley talk about, but just having a structure to it, being consistent in the weight room, and really seeking out people who understand how. Because lifting isn't just lifting heavy weights, it's a method and a method to the madness. So just understanding that. But yeah, that's a quick recap of just my fitness. So it was a big part of my life, but now on to a new standpoint and then a new fitness kind of level where we're at. But we'll get more into that. So Joe?
All right, Josh, thanks, man. So I guess I'll kind of dive into my fitness background and all the sports I've played to get me to the point where I am today. So I come from a big football family. We grew up watching NFL Sundays every year Sunday, and college football on Saturdays.
Who cares? Sorry, I'm an Eagles fan. Sorry.
Hey, go Steelers, baby! You already know.
Who dey?
We in the net. Yeah. But no, I came from a big football family. And I played baseball as well my whole entire career, leading up from first grade. Maybe it was before first grade, honestly, leading up to my senior year. And then I guess once I kind of got into high school, that's when I kind of started, structuring my weightlifting programs, and it was through our football team and our baseball team. So football lifting and baseball lifting is totally different. So football lifting, I started my sophomore year is when I really got into high intensity, high repetition, high energy workouts, and that's kind of what correlates to football. And it's more team based. I'm saying baseball's team based, obviously, but from my personal experience with football, you constantly got to be encouraging one another, keep pushing. I remember the football workouts we did Monday, Wednesday, Fridays, and this thing called Blue Plate is what we did, and it was a circuit of 10 sets for a minute straight, and it was so everybody grabbed a 45-pound plate, and then one circuit would have been squats, just as many as you can in a minute, and then you handed the plate off to your partner, and then they would continue with squats, and then another circuit of shoulder raises and it was just a very, very high endurance, like high intensity workout, and that's kind of what football.
High intensity.
I feel like in high school, like football is the one sport that like kids do take the weight room serious.
I agree.
Like basketball and baseball, like we don't do it as often. I don't feel like. It's like when we're in there, like we just like kind of dick around the whole time.
Yeah. But with football, I mean, what my coaches were ultimately training us for is to perform on the field. You know, every sport and how they work out is different. You know, baseball is more, I would say, not as endurance and more skill based. As football is, like I said, high intense, high endurance, and high energy. So it just kind of depends on kind of what sport you're playing. But that's my background with fitness, and I started sophomore year of high school, and I kind of found a true passion for it, and I've picked up ever since. So
I think that's one thing that just popped into my mind is like the skill level needed for each sport, or just like the amount of athleticism that can take you to like a certain level. It's like if you're an athlete in football, like it's gonna get you much farther than like baseball. I feel like I don't know if you guys will agree with me or like if y'all agree with me, but just like I just feel like there's a different like standpoint. Even like basketball or like golf, like if you're the best athlete, you're not gonna get. That doesn't mean you're gonna be good at golf. So it's like this is a different like.
that's a good point.
There's different fine-tuned skills.
Yeah, for sure. When it comes to sports.
So
To touch on my background, I grew up playing basketball. Me and Riley used to play in our driveway back in Pro Drive very frequently. I actually still to this day have never beat him in a one-on-one, so. And yeah, I'm not gonna lie about it either.
One day will never come.
I mean, I'm never gonna give up.
Yeah,
but
that's what we like to hear. We're coming correct.
The last time he told me he would beat me, it was 21 to 3.
it was 21-3. That sucked. But anyways, so yeah, I played basketball my whole life. I played varsity my last 2 years of high school. I was mainly a defensive kind of player, so being on a team where everybody's more offensive, and you're the defense guy, you have to work a little bit harder. And with that means that I have to have a lot more stamina than the people I'm guarding in order to keep up with them. And to keep up with like these people over the summers, I would go on 3-mile runs pretty much every day. And that's something that our grandpa, growing up, always preached to us. He's like, "You boys need to go outside and run, damn it." And we kind of listened. I really didn't listen until my last 2 years of high school. I really didn't start running until my last 2 years of high school, and I saw a huge benefit from it. And another thing I did during high school in the summers was this thing called FAST. Shout out to FAST. You got us both right. But FAST was mainly just like more. I feel like it was like endurance, right?
I would say fast it's speed work specifically.
Speed work,
it makes it turns you, like me and Josh were saying, like it's really functional lifting to the point where it's making you a better athlete, it's making you faster.
Yeah.
I mean that's the purpose.
You're not really going there to get huge or anything.
Yeah, that quick muscle twitch, working on those specific
lateral quickness.
That really do kind of separate
agility.
Yeah, a lot of agility, explosion on the weekends, things like that, but a lot of good takeaways there.
But yeah, I feel like most of you guys like actually like just to touch on this, I feel like most of you guys like thought about playing a sport after high school at some point. I feel like I'm definitely the only one here that like I knew like by like my freshman year of high school with my experience in basketball, I was like, I like making beats more than this. So like I know like that's where like my heart lies.
That's wild, cause like even like when you talk about freshman Ricky, I feel like you've always just been like one step ahead. Like even though it's like even me, like it took me to like junior year, like senior year where I'm like, okay, like this isn't an option for me.
Yeah.
Like even though like I knew in the back of my mind, I'm just like, it's just like, okay, yeah, like this is what everyone's doing, like this is what I've been not working for, but just like thought I was gonna do. You have to like the self-realization, that's another topic we can speak on, but like having the confidence in your ability to just like take that for what it is and not just kind of be like doubt or not doubting, but just like
to understand your skill set.
Yeah,
right. That's
100%.
That's what's big.
Yeah.
Every aspect of life.
Understood your strengths. Right.
Like I knew I was decent at football. You know, I played well my senior year, and I could have potentially played D2 or D3, but I knew that's not where I would see the most growth in my career.
That's so true.
So then I just, you know, I knew I needed to take my studies farther, and that's why I, you know, chose to come to college. Like I said, probably could have played baseball or football somewhere, but I knew that I wouldn't grow as much as I had to. share my time easy. So.
Absolutely.
And if you're like that, like if you're watching this and like you're like that, like stick to it for sure. It just happens that all of us are here for a reason and talking in front of the camera, preaching all these things, you know.
Follow your heart
follow your heart.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it'll tell you where you belong, and at the end of the day, do what you're passionate about, and if it makes you happy, keep doing it.
Yeah.
100%.
But I got a little off topic, my bad. To wrap up my fitness.
Quick shout though, you did play in the state final. You know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
that's pretty.
Just throw that in there. I never got to.
Ryan he always knows me a little bit better than I do. But our senior year, we made it to the state finals. We had a very good season. We went like
St. Vincent St. Mary's LeBron school.
I'm getting there.
Oh,
we went like 48-1 in like 2 years, and we ended up getting beat by LeBron's old high school, St. Vincent St. Mary's. They have 2 players that are now either going to college or in college. One's Malachi Branham, plays for Ohio State. Did pretty good in the tournament, and then they also have Sincere Harris. He's going to be a dog in college, I'm sure. 2 people that I'm sure they're going to follow their passion all the way to the league. Very tough team. It was like playing an NBA team. It was crazy. But that was a super fun experience. I got to actually capture that's when I like started recording things, so I got to capture that state trip on camera. It's unreleased because we lost, but still a lot of good footage from that. Great memory. But to follow that, once basketball was over, I was kind of hit with that like emptiness of like, all right, well, what am I gonna do in my free time now? You know, practice takes up like my whole schedule. So I stuck with running because, like I was saying, I was a defensive player. That's what I enjoyed. I enjoyed the running aspect, the going up and down the court. That was something I enjoyed doing. So stuck to running. That was around the time that Riley signed up for an Ironman. And that kind of inspired me. I'm like, okay, well, if this dude's gonna do an Ironman, by the time he gets to that Ironman and does it, I'm gonna be like, well, what can I do? So I decided to sign up for the Flying Pig Marathon, which was exactly like a month really after his Ironman, and got to the marathon. I completed it in 4 hours and 15 minutes. I wanted to do sub 4, but I was a little short. And now I am about to do a.
Just say that.
Yeah,
that's your background. It's crazy because that's actually your background. Actually,
it's crazy, man. These brothers can read each other's minds. He knew what he was about to say.
No, I did. You're gonna get into your current, but that's crazy because that's actually like to this point you've already done a marathon. And that's your fitness background for college.
Yeah. That's
actually pretty crazy to think about. But I'll brief into my background, make it pretty quick so we can get into kind of current stuff we're doing. Similar to these guys, high school athlete, basketball was my life. I talked a little bit about it in the first podcast. Super serious, played AAU ball. I was a kid getting up at 5 a.m., going to the Y in the mornings, doing workouts, getting trained, shout out Lamar. Loved it, thought it was going to be my life, you know. Really had all my sights set on doing that, doing basketball and everything. Training for me kind of looked similar to him. I took it a lot more serious. I didn't screw around in the weight room. I took all my stuff very, very seriously. Just tried to become a better athlete overall. Had a lot of injuries, which I'll talk about current and kind of the translation and neglection of stretching and some things like that I was pretty ignorant to early on. And that's basically my background. It's basketball. I mean, it's as simple as that. I won't bore you with the details of all the little stories and nuances of it, but all along I had done running. I had done the only background to like my triathlon current is swimming when I was really younger for 2 years. Tried a couple other sports, but other than that, basketball was really my heart. So,
cool.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, quick point I want to touch on. To all you high school athletes out there that, slack off in the weight room, take it serious. Get better every single day, because that's something that I've had experience with.
Absolutely.
Being around, football and baseball teams in high school. There's a handful.
Look at this man.
A handful of people.
He takes the gym serious.
You're right. I don't even know what to say about that, but don't give up in the weight room. I mean, you're there for a mission. You have a goal. You have a goal in mind. Get better every day, and you're gonna see results.
Yes. I think that's a really good point too, because like looking back, you'll regret it.
Yeah.
Because like
100%.
even if you don't go to play college, or like even if you do, you're just like, dang, what if I took that extra like couple hours more seriously? Like what level could I have been to, or how my play on the field would have reflected? So that's something that I've thought about. So yeah, just while you're there, 100%.
I agree. I was gonna say, just to piggyback off that for one thing, anybody who is younger out there listening, I completely am on board with all those things, and kind of keep in mind, like some coaches would say to me, but it's like the 1% rule. You have the opportunity to get 1% better every single day. Seize that opportunity, because those days will go, and that opportunity won't be there, and you'll look back at college and you don't want to have those regrets, like you said. So I think that's super crucial, super important, and enjoy the experience while you're there, because to actually have a collective group of people who are trying to get better with you will completely go away unless you do sports in college. So that's something to actually be grateful for.
Yeah. I think we're getting some real good points on here, but yeah, going into more of the present fitness where we're at. So I think I'll just talk about this year really. So my freshman and sophomore year, I lifted and I ran a good amount, but I wasn't in the gym like intensely. I wasn't like thinking about like recovery, protein shakes, like drinking water after, stretching, just making sure like every day I was getting like that specified time in to lift. But this year, I met Riley, and he was in like his Ironman prep. He did the full Ironman, and then he did the half, right?
Yep.
So he did the full, and then he did the half. And I would just see him like running around campus, and it really inspired me. So I took it up a little bit, started really with the smaller mileages, like 1 to 2. I started ramping up a little bit more, and the farthest I've done is 8. But the one thing with running that I've really found that helped me is that I'm really like very anal and very like hyper intensive about like homework or like work or anything that's going on. So when you run, it's like kind of gets like that runner's high we'll get into later. Just like the only thing you're thinking of, you're really not even thinking about anything, but like as you're running, you're just going through the different things that are flowing through your mind. But it's more of like free thought. It's not like you're like anxiously thinking on things like intensely, just kind of letting like you realize, and then it's like it's gone.
It's like
the next one.
I love running in like a nature and like a
absolute environment.
Wow.
You hear the birds chirping. You get one of those things. That's what my favorite part about running right there.
I just ran in Burnett Woods a couple days ago, and it's just like, dude, nobody else was around. I was like running by a pond. It was so peaceful. I'm just like, this is a vibe, man.
That's one of the spots for sure. Mandatory group run this week. I'm calling it now. It's on the podcast official.
But no, yeah. So that's one thing it just really helped me, my mental and like my emotional. Cause like I don't really talk about like my thoughts too much with other people. Just like getting that opportunity, just like let it free out and like let it go through like energy and running. That's something that's really helped. And another aspect of running that I've realized is like you're by yourself and just like you can go way farther than you ever like thought, like physically. And so like just taking that standpoint and just like pushing yourself to that. And once you realize, like Ricky and Riley have helped me like so much, just realize the potential that you can do, especially and then like getting more into the weight room. I've been really consistent in that, like 4 to 5 days a week, just getting in the weight room, making sure I'm doing leg day.
Hey, don't skip leg day.
I won't pull them out, but yeah, no, this year I've really just been going to the rec consistently, just staying up on my fitness, just making sure, like I said last time, it just helps me with the mental, the emotional, just like, since we're always in our rooms, looking at the screen, just like very, very stressful environment, it just helps you kind of release some energy, just like be in a different state and just like a different mindset. Unplug as well. Listen to podcasts, listen to music, and as well you can work out with your friends. Riley tried to kill me today, but it's okay. We'll talk about that later. But yeah, that's kind of my present like state as of now. But
what's your present goal?
Some goals. So yeah, I'll say.
Like, where do you want to get?
I think
with your present fitness.
So I think like the frequent or like early goal as of now is half marathon.
Okay.
And then I want to go full.
Okay.
I think I could really do it, especially Riley's giving me some nice kicks. So I'm about to be floating on there. You're gonna see me bouncing around campus. But don't talk to me when I'm running. I'm in my zone. So don't try to like stop me like John, don't stop me when I'm running, bro. And Ricky, next time run 6'2", John. I'm coming for you.
John's
sorry, I'm kind of getting this kind of off topic, but yeah. So like half marathon is like a recent or early goal, and then full marathon. I think it's just something to just like push yourself mentally, physically, and just like seeing like what you guys have done, especially just like Joe in the weight room. I always see Joe lifting in there, like getting after it and just.
Yes, sir.
It's like it just like motivates you to push yourself, and like the long-term effect of fitness. It's just gonna be good for your health and those around you. So it's kind of what my present state of fitness. So yeah.
Cool. So I'll kind of dive into my current fitness goals that I have set forth for myself. So, once I got acclimated to college, I knew I wanted to, stay consistent with working out. And 4 to 5 days a week is what I stayed true to. So freshman year, obviously I'm a lot bigger than I am now, or I'm a lot bigger now than I am freshman year.
Hey, we know.
But overall, I think fitness is a lot about mindset, mindset and motivation. Because there's, fitness is a popular topic. There's people that, they say they go to the gym like 2 to 3 days a week. Yeah, sure, but like, are you really like pushing yourself throughout your time that you're taking out of your day to, drive to the rec or walk to the rec?
Is it like a chore, or is it something you want to do?
Just a mindless task, kind of like just to do to be like in theory healthy, or do you have the actual drive to do it? Right.
And like, if you have the actual drive to do something, like you're gonna be committed to it, as opposed to if you're just going to rec for just to mark it off the to-do list, like.
That's really good.
And the reason that I lift is kind of going back to what Josh said. It's a stress reliever, and it's almost like my meditation period where I can just let loose and listen to a podcast, listen to music, or do something to better myself while I'm bettering myself. If that makes sense. If that makes sense. So I guess I'll go into like the supplements I use. I really don't use that many supplements. So pre-workout in general, I don't really use pre-workout.
Hey, good.
So
good.
I personally think, and I mean, you guys can disagree with me on this if you want, but I personally think that the body does not need pre-workout to function on a daily basis, and that if you want to, get consistent.
You use pre-workout, stop watching.
No. I'm just saying, for all the pre-workout users, keep doing what you're doing. I'm sure you're doing great things, but I'm just saying, like, you already should have the motivation and energy, to lift.
You should use it as your motivation.
Exactly. Like, I know it helps with being energized, but I mean, for me, like, it's just I already have that motivation just to go and just.
We're not anti pre-workout at all.
No,
We are pro coffee though.
Facts.
Hey, like three cups of coffee a day. I need my caffeine.
And yerba, but if it works for you,
Ambassador guy.
like keep doing it. But like what he's saying is like if you can find that natural energy to do it, like that's more beneficial for you than
100%.
relying on an external source.
Yeah. And then I guess another thing I need to touch on is like I don't really enjoy working out in groups that much. And there's a reason to this is because like I'm on a mission, man. I'm on a mission to get better, and I want to stay in and get out in like less than an hour because I have other stuff I have to do. If I go with a group, I feel more obligated that I have to. I feel like that's social hour, and I have to talk to them and like catch up with how life's going. But for me, I'm a very individualistic person. Getting in the gym, getting my work done, and then going on about my day. That's just naturally how I've been. And I'm excited to see where I am a couple years from now.
Goals? Got any goals?
Goals. So current goals. So I've always been around like 160, like 165, and I'm sick of it, man. I'm sick of it. I want to bulk up. So I'm currently bulking season. I want to get to 180, and I think for me to accomplish that, I just overall need to just keep eating, man. Just like 4,000 calories a day at least.
Are you tracking? Is that something?
So tracking calories is something that I've been doing, and it's been helping me a lot.
Absolutely.
I feel like by not tracking your calories, like tracking your calories is very difficult.
Oh yeah.
Because you have to. Say you're doing eggs for breakfast, so I gotta add the milk in, gotta add the eggs, gotta add if you do make a sandwich, you gotta add the bread in there. It's just so many different.
The last few days I've tried.
Yeah, it's tough, man. But that's something that has helped me out, and ultimately just eating more calories than you burn is the
that's the key.
Is the key to bulking.
I realized
simple
running
math.
feels that too.
I was gonna say no group run for you, Joe.
No group run for me,
That's anti-bulk right there.
So I just got done with the cut, because I was cutting for spring break. Gotta get the body, but but now I'm bulking up, so that's a goal. But yeah.
Are you doing that race day thing? What's that for?
Yeah, so I'm actually competing in a race day competition. Shout out Nate Peppers for actually exposing me to this competition.
Yes, soon.
And shout out Rooted Creative, for bringing me on board and exposing me and to your guys' mission and what you guys do as a company and as a creative agency. But no, this race day competition, it's May 21st, I believe, and it's built around like strength training, cardio, endurance. It's kind of like everything into one, and its goal is like to build community and faith, and with like-minded people that are like passionate about like working out.
Cool.
So I'm super excited about it. I'm gonna start training here probably in the next month or so.
How long? Like, is it a run or?
Yeah, so it's from 9 to 1. So it's not really a run. It's kind of like a Murph, honestly.
Okay, cool.
It's a Murph, but like it's not. Like they have a bunch of different like workouts that you do. I'm not really sure like what all the logistics entail, but I'm gonna be doing it with a team. So me and 3 other people, and then we each like. It's kind of a race, yeah.
Gotcha.
But it's not like just endurance based, or
That's
it's not
cool.
just
That's cool.
just cardio. So, but yeah, I'm pumped. But
Alrighty, that was great from you two. Like the things you guys were saying, like touching on it, like it was way deeper. Like you like stretched it, like and like made points that were so much more like deep than I expected. You know, like
The
the
one
actual
free
effects
thought
of
that I
that.
said, I've never like said it, like or like thought of it.
Yeah.
And once you're like, ooh, I was like,
Yeah, I remember you saying I'm right.
yeah.
Yeah, no, well that's the cool thing about like fitness in general is like everyone has a different perspective on it. So like hearing it out loud, like that like helps me. I'm like, yeah, like it does do that.
Yeah.
You know?
like again, not to bash on any of the pre-workout users. I'm just saying
I think he has a problem.
I don't personally use it, but
No.
all right. But yeah, Ricky, you want to go ahead?
Yeah, I'll jump into my current fitness state. So yeah, I've been running a shit ton, and obviously I'm inspired by Riley, and right now I'm training for the full marathon in Cincinnati. It's the Flying Pig. It's on May 1st. We're about 3 weeks out, so my training load is sir. Thank you. My training. Why didn't we clap for Riley's Ironman last time? Now I feel like.
Yeah, we'll clap to like.
Forget Riley.
He said who cares. Right now my fitness load is like slowly like weighing down towards the race. I just did my longest run of training yesterday, which was 20 miles.
Time to taper.
Yeah. Wait, what did you say?
Time to taper. Taper your training down.
Oh yeah, taper my training. He knows a lot of fitness terms that I'm like not aware of. So like when he says them, when you say them, I'm like I have no idea what you say.
I just assume. Sorry.
But yeah, no, like what Josh was saying with running, the effect it's had on me is like it is the one time of my day where it's just like no phone, no distractions. You're just running, like you're just moving your body in a forward motion, and it's such a signifying thing because you're moving forward. So you're pushing past all your dark thoughts, your doubts, and all that. And especially when you do like long runs, like a 20-mile run or like even like a 10-mile run, you're pushing past like, I want to say like your demons, you know, you're fighting your demons off. And a thought that I've had a lot recently during my runs is like when I'm like super deep into it and I'm starting to get that runner's high, is like I'll I do this every time I get halfway through my run. I say, all right, Ricky, go home. And it'll usually be because I'll lap it. And so let's say I run 10 miles this way and I hit that 10-mile mark and then I gotta turn around. I say, Ricky, go home. And what that means to me is like, it's not just me finishing my run, it's go home. All those dark thoughts, go home. Like, go back to where you belong. You're not mine anymore because I'm gonna finish my run. Go home. But that's been one of those like things that's really stuck with me. And
so like to the general public, like you think go home means I'm going home. Like,
yeah.
Like I'm done with my run.
Yeah. That's so interesting. You do something
That's
halfway
cool,
through.
man.
So I have a ritual on my run where I usually wear a hat, and I flip my hat backwards for the last half of the run. And then on my bike, I have this little piece of my shifter that I bend down on the down position. So that's interesting. I didn't know you got a hat. That's the first time I've actually heard it.
Now that we're talking about like this brother dynamic, being around these dudes and like how they talk about fitness, like I'll be talking to like Ricky or Riley, and he'd be like, oh yeah, like I just ran like 13 today, like 13 miles. Just like very casual. I'm like
struggling to run.
I'm like, you guys realize like people like the general person cannot run like 2 miles, like on a treadmill, anything, and just like how you guys talk about like your fam, like Ricky's video. I could probably get into it, but you know, I don't think he mentioned it, but he ran a 5K and he's like, how old were you?
Ooh, like
We were both really young.
I want to say like
Put the clip.
7, 8.
Put the clip right here, man.
So
like these dudes.
my first, I was 8. My first, you were probably 7.
Yeah.
But no, like just like how they talk about their uncle, like a super runner. What did you call
Yeah, he's
him?
an basically ultra endurance athlete. He's about to do a 100-mile run.
And then, like,
Shout out Uncle Ronnie.
Your
Yeah.
grandpa
You are
telling
the
you to
goat.
run. It's like I'm sure.
I didn't even know
that.
else in the background, like your uncle was a.
So yeah.
I'll get into that a little bit because that briefs into like my current.
Yeah.
It's really him and my grandpa.
So I just wanted to point that out, like these dudes, something is in their blood. I don't know what it is, but something's there.
Super soldiers.
That's all I had. So
Appreciate the kind
yeah,
words.
I had to say something about it.
That means a lot.
Means a lot for sure.
But yeah, no, that I'll definitely just like cut myself off right there because that really is like current. That was the realization I had on my last run. And
What's the goal for the flying pig?
goal for the flying pig? I didn't get sub 4 last time, but I know I can do sub 4 now based on how like my fitness has been working. So I'm shooting for 3 hours and 45 minutes, sub 3 hours 45 minutes. And yeah, I'm excited for it, man.
Easy money for the kid.
I'm excited for it, and
We're excited for you, man.
Yeah.
We're excited for you.
thank you. And you know, in the Cincinnati hills, if you run in Cincinnati, you know,
You're built different.
especially the MLK hill.
That's torture.
Yeah, that's where you fight your demons at. That's where you go home.
The Clifton Mile. Yeah.
Mhm.
Classic. All right, my current. Well, I'm just coming off of from the first podcast you heard, 70.3 Texas. That half there, so that was good. Quite the race there. Kind of give a brief overview. Took in a ton of salt water to start the race from a cannonball entry from a participant next to me. Don't know why you jump off a dock and start with a cannonball, but hey.
Start gun. The start gun went off a little early.
Yeah, there were some elements with that. It tended to early start. Got me further back in my swim group to kind of cause all this anyway. But I was basically getting sick the majority of that race. All through the swim, off the bike, getting sick. Had a good bike split. That was about the only good part of the day. Came in, kept getting sick, and then same story on the run. I just couldn't get up to race pace. The legs were there. Heart rate was extremely low, lower than Ironman pace for heart rate, but the gut just wouldn't let me go. So fell short of my goal by 20 minutes. That's all right. Just like you with your 4-hour goal, you know, you write these goals and you get there, and you at least get to the day and you realize you can only control what you can control. So at the end of the day, I had a lot of good takeaways. Got a race with my best friend Nate. You got to see him finish in a really good time. So that was just quite the experience, and really brought me back to the drawing board. So my current kind of place I'm at now. Definitely still chasing. We talked a little bit about the world's concept and stuff like that of me trying to achieve that. That's something I'm still looking for. So qualifying for 70.3 Worlds, whether it's this year, next year, 3 years, 4 years from now, that's my long-term goal. So whatever it takes to get there, the age groups get more and more competitive. So current fitness is looking like kind of taking a recovery week, and then we're gonna bounce back into a big hefty block of training and preparation for 70.3 Michigan is the next goal race. So gotta get registered, but my goal there is just break that sub 5, just actually hit the goal like I'm supposed to. Hopefully I end up really progressing fitness wise and end up coming around 4:30 or something like that would be really good. But I guess to brief a little bit to how I even got to the triathlon, to kind of touch on some of those things.
One thing.
Go ahead.
What is an Ironman for the people who might not know?
Yeah. So that's right in the beginning of this story. I'll hit that. So background growing up, I did a bunch of runs. That's primarily from my grandpa. He's a lifelong runner. even now in his 70s, he still goes out and runs 3-4 miles at a time. So
That's crazy.
Pretty crazy, and that honestly inspired us, I think, growing up to do a lot of those runs. So
You set up our DNA.
yeah, to have that really good endurance.
Grandpa.
Shout out,
You
Grandpa.
set up our
Yeah.
DNA.
Shout out
And
to
so
our team.
this will be really cool because this is actually a super full circle moment for me in this last race. But about a month before Thanksgiving, I came across Spencer Taylor, known as Spencer Vibes, video on YouTube, doing a full Ironman. I had no idea what an Ironman was. So through this video, I learned, as you guys will learn, a full Ironman is a 2.4 mile swim, followed by a 112 mile bike, followed by a 26.2 mile run, a marathon. So it was in my head an insane thing. I couldn't even fathom a marathon at the time. So I just thought, pretty incredible that him at his age was doing it was pretty cool, and the other people doing it, it's just pretty nuts. So oddly enough, that Thanksgiving, I had never thought of doing one. It was definitely on the bucket list after seeing that. But my uncle, just as a endurance athlete, he's done a lot of marathons, tried the 100-miler a few years back, fell a little bit short. That's why he's going back to get that final chip off his shoulder there this June. But he randomly challenged me that Thanksgiving to sign up for the full Ironman. And we literally, at Thanksgiving, both signed up for Ironman.
Oh my goodness, you just ate something, I think.
Sorry about that.
No, you're good. So back to what I was saying. We signed up for Ironman in Madison, Wisconsin. I had no idea what I was getting myself into. I just knew it would be an extreme stretch of my mind, my own physical health and everything. And I knew if other people could do it, there's no reason that I couldn't train up for a whole year and prepare for that. So that kind of got me bit by the endurance bug and kind of got me addicted to all of this that you have seen. Unlike Joe, I came in with the same goal to get in the weight room and get bigger and gain the weight, because I was probably 170 coming into college. And that was it.
Like me and you we have definitely a difficult time putting on weight. Just like our body structure and just our genetics, like we have a very high metabolism that we have to keep consuming our bodies with food.
And it's taught me a lot through trying to balance endurance training. I cut a ton of weight to the point where it's probably a little bit unhealthy for my full. Seeing weights, I was in 7th and 8th grade. So finally back up, getting more healthy, getting more sustainable. Something I want to at least brief on. Real quickly, I actually finished my full circle point. So Spencer Vibes, the guy that I had saw that initial Ironman video from, he's a co-host of the Impulsive podcast that was back in the day. He was at that race in Galveston, and I got to talk to him, I got to meet him and everything. Awesome. So that was super cool.
That's so
so that's kind of how the full circle hit for me. Anyways, but I did want to brief a little bit on kind of what big takeaways I've taken in the fitness space. I mean, obviously, you guys talked a lot about the mental effects, and I would kind of echo all the same things. It does translate a lot into business, your work, your mindset, and just kind of taking the hard things you do through fitness and translating that same mindset that you would take to accomplish that goal in fitness to the same thing in business, work, or whatever that would be. And then lastly, just the lack of education around stretching, doing recovery things to actually keep your body healthy, because sometimes you don't realize with our audacious goal is that you're going to beat your body up to get there, and if you don't actually do the homework on what you can do to recover and be healthy, it'll come back to bite you. So I did have a lot of overuse injuries, and it was just due to kind of my own ignorance there. My one tip I'll give before we kind of brief into anything else is honestly just what I gave to you. Drink tart cherry juice. It sounds crazy, but other than stretching and doing real things and building habits and doing those things, drink tart cherry juice.
I feel like every human,
good.
It doesn't matter what kind of fitness you do, please just start drinking tart cherry juice. It's in the grocery stores for a reason, and there's just a hidden society of people who know about it, I guess.
It's a life hack.
It is a life hack, and everyone needs to start drinking it. Period.
So does tart cherry juice just help with with muscle recovery?
Basically muscle recovery, inflammation primarily, and I guess it does have some benefit to sleep too. So 8 ounces before bed every night is super beneficial. I noticed, more than I noticed, a difference in protein shakes and things like that for recovery. It's helped me a lot, so definitely try it out.
Cool. I think another thing I wanted to hit on for Riley, I know you were just talking for a while.
Yeah.
I think this is really interesting, the 4x4x48.
Oh yeah.
You want to touch on that? It's really very quickly how you got the inspiration, what it is, and how it went.
Yeah, so that was David Goggins challenge. You guys can go see that video on my YouTube at my name, Ryder's Auto. But brief description: run 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours. So 48 miles.
Say that again for the people in the back, bro. That shit's crazy.
It was quite the challenge. A lot of sleep deprivation and some things that I fought through there. But my big takeaways are in that video, so I'm not going to take too much time to talk about it here. Kind of plug the video there, but
in the description.
So yeah, so this we could maybe hit a lighter topic. I wrote this down. I think it's like funny because you see a lot of characters at the gym and like just a lot of different people. So if y'all like maybe a minute to think about it, but what's the funniest thing you've seen at the gym? Like whether it's like someone like mess up or like someone doing a crazy workout. I can start. It's not gonna be the funniest thing.
Before you go, we're gonna preface this. If you're at the gym and you're doing any workout, we're gonna go ahead and put the hands down to you. We're happy you're there.
Yeah.
This is not to roast anybody.
Keep on being you, keep on doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, there's always room for improvement.
Yeah, and you can make fun of us for the stupid things I do, like walking backwards on the treadmill.
Yeah.
So
that's probably at least one person's weirdest thing they've ever seen at the gym. They're like, why is he walking backwards on the treadmill?
There's a big purpose, but go ahead, Josh. I'm not
So
gonna.
yeah, I think it might have been this weekend. I think it was Saturday. So I go into like the rec at UC, and this girl, it's like the stretching room where like everybody's on their mats and things. So I put my mat down, and like I see this girl just like laying on the ground, and then she like gets up, and she's just like doing a handstand. Her like head's on the ground, so her feet are just straight up. I don't know, like I had my headphones in blaring. I think it was after I left your house. And I laughed out loud, like pretty loud. And I was like,
Doing a headstand?
bro, she's just like sitting there, and I'm just like, it's not that weird, but I just like laughed, and she like looked at me. She gets up, like sits up down from her handstand, picks up her mat, and just leaves. And I felt so bad, but I was like, it wasn't funny, but it was hilarious actually.
It wasn't funny, but it was hilarious.
It was hilarious.
I just thought it was funny because I didn't mean to laugh, and I didn't think it was that funny, but it just like came out. So that was just like a recent story that made me think of it.
Yeah.
But I just thought it was hilarious.
Dude,
I wish I could do that. I'll practice next time.
I'm not really much of a people watcher when I go to the gym. Like I'm in my zone, man. Like I have my headphones in. Like I don't want to talk to anybody. Like that's how I operate when I go to the gym. But I guess this past year I've seen not really funny, but just not right form at all. So I guess I've been talking about form. So this was on dumbbell flies, and he literally had you don't need much weight to get an effective workout with dumbbell flies. I do like 25, 30 pounds, like I'm chilling. But this guy had like 40 pounds, and like props to him. Like I'm not saying he was smaller than me. Like he needed to be doing a little lighter weight, but his form was just completely just unstructured and not where it needed to be. And he was like going all the way. It was just hurting and coming off. So I just had shoulder surgery about a year ago, and coming off a guy with shoulder surgery, like that was like watching him go that far down. I was just like irritated. I'm just like, oh dude, like you not know what you're doing. Like you're gonna hurt your shoulders, and like that's gonna affect your future, man. Like so I went over and helped him, and I showed him. I'm like, listen, man, like I'm not trying to be a burden on your day or anything. I'm just trying to help you out. Like you just gotta, make it stop at 90 degrees, and then go back up. Like you don't want to exceed that 90-degree motion because that puts too much pressure on your shoulder, and then that is super strenuous.
Yeah.
Especially whenever doing shorter workouts, you want to activate your lats and not so it alleviates a lot of pressure off your shoulders, so you're activating like your back muscles as well.
Gym guru.
Personal trainer Joe.
But
Josh was over there like, wow, I had no idea.
Yeah, I'm getting knowledge over here. I'm like,
I watched him get intrigued.
yeah, I guess a big thing is for tracking your scapula. That's kind of what I was hitting at, but
scapula. But yeah.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen at the gym.
Yeah, I feel bad. Like I'm not making fun of that girl. I just thought it was funny because I unintentionally laughed that loud, and I don't know if that's the reason she left.
You're more laughing at yourself.
Yeah.
Weirdest thing I've ever seen at the gym is a dude that I swear he couldn't have been older than 13 years old. Nah, not even 13. He could have been older than like 12 years old. And he was in there like low-key, I don't want to call him buff, but like, he was kind of big. Yeah.
That man didn't hit puberty yet.
Yeah. No, and he was in there and he was cranking out more weight than I was. And I was just like, dude, what?
You're crazy,
like,
bro.
it, like, I don't know, I was just kind of in shock. And I was just thinking about like, doesn't like lifting that early like stun your growth?
Yeah. One of my buddies was, one of my buddies when I was in middle school was, he was on roids, bro. Like, he was significantly bigger than everybody. Like, and yeah, it was like 6th grade. Like we still hadn't even hit puberty yet, and this dude was like
jacked. Yeah. Man strength.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna say mine. It was in the sauna at East Sporta not too long ago, and it was not even more of a funny thing, of more of a like, you guys think I'm crazy for doing like the races and stuff I do, but this day you were there. I thought this guy was on a whole nother level of crazy. So you know you're sitting in almost 200 degrees in a sauna, and he's in there the entirety of us being in there for 15 minutes. He had already been in there doing his workout. He's up on the higher level doing crunches. What? Like the thing is non-stop. Like he didn't stop to breathe.
It's like whamming on crunches, like bam.
Yeah, no, like literally just like the whole time we were there. And then it's like he stopped doing crunches, push-ups. And he was just cranking out all these push-ups. And I was like, what is going on? I was like, there's no way he doesn't stop. Like his heart rate has to be so high, like he's gonna pass out.
Isn't it proven that you're only supposed to stay in the sauna for like 12 minutes?
Yes, for like 15 to 20 minutes is absolute max on any given day, and that's usually like probably split up for most people. This guy was in there, kid you not, at least 20 minutes doing a full probably finisher workout. But mind you, this guy looked like bodybuilder shredded. So it was one of those perspectives of like,
maybe he's doing something right.
Yeah, I was like, wow, I guess if you want to have washboard abs and not have to flex, like this is what you got to do to get there. So it was kind of interesting to see.
Cool,
but that was my most interesting gym story recent.
The saunas are great, bro.
Oh yeah.
They have so many benefits.
Life changing.
Oh yeah.
Dude, that's so true.
Yeah.
Cherry tart juice, saunas, actual
Headstands.
Lifting while you're 12.
But I'm trying to think of like a little more interesting topic. So
title back.
What's up?
You want to just like
I got one more question. What would like fitness wise, where it's like boxing, MMA, like swimming, honestly like so many, like hiking or like climbing, what's something like out of the box, or not even out of the box, just something you haven't delved in before that you would want to do?
Want to try?
I think one thing that I would want to try but would never ever do it, like ever, is MMA. Like I think that's so, you just gotta be something, like you just gotta be insane, truly, to go in a ring with another man,
dude,
with really small gloves and
beat each other up.
Fight for your life.
Literally, is to like beat him till he's almost to death, until the ref
That's a great question.
pulls you off. Like I wish I had. I'm just too psycho. I would never, but I would love to.
That's a good question.
If I could.
I would say for me, so I used to lift at Crunch in Oakley. For you guys, it's like 10 minutes away from Cincinnati. But this guy inspired me, man. So Crunch has this like agility platform, and it's like they have a bunch of like bands and they have a big like turf area, and I see this dude just like ripping backflips, bro. What? Oh yeah, dude, he's like running off like 1 foot and just doing like a 180 like backflip.
Like a gym.
So like a gym. So that's something I went up to him after one of my workouts and I'm like, dude, like where'd you learn how to do this stuff?
Very slept on.
And he's like YouTube, man. That's the thing. That,
See, nah.
Like
I know you can learn like Excel and stuff on YouTube.
he literally said I learned off YouTube, and he was doing like, this man was crazy. Like he was
I believe it.
Like he had his shoes off and everything. He was like meditating before, and he was like stretching and stuff.
There was a guy at East Sporting
that was him.
I wonder if it's
that had to be him.
And then he was just like, and then like just did it.
Yeah, that was the weirdest thing.
Maybe the same guy.
Bro, I'm just imagining Joe like watching him.
And then I went up to him and I was like, dude, dude, can you train me? Can you be my trainer? Can you teach me how to do that? Because that's when I was like, I'm still like going out of my comfort zone, like wanting to try new things. And I don't know what pushed me to go up to him that day. But you know, we had one training session together. He taught me some stuff. But that's something that I really want to focus on and just get. I know it's a big goal, but like just like gymnastics and like karate in general. Yes.
Karate's really good.
So yeah, so that's kind of what I touched on. So
Flip Ninja. We gotta get him as a guest.
dude, I got his ninja. I can text him.
Yeah, text him.
Wow.
Dude, yeah,
That'd be a good guest.
yeah.
That can be another fitness podcast.
Fitness podcast coming soon. Flip guy.
Gymnastics guy. Yeah.
Harvey Lewis, if you're listening, Mr. 300-mile man, 350-mile man, I'm going to find you in Cincinnati and we're doing a running podcast. Right now, I'm speaking it into the earth. That's what's happening. You'll see it on Comin Correct in the future. Just know, Harvey, I know you're going to do this podcast.
Week 3. By week 3, Harvey Lewis will watch this podcast.
And I will do a backflip.
Flip guy.
Flip guy.
Flip guy.
Promise you,
I
promise you, by the end of this year, I will be able to do a backflip.
Hey, I like
I
that.
can see
I can see that.
Hey, sport or whatever you would pick if it wasn't basketball.
Karate. I want to learn karate. My dad loves Bruce Lee.
Kinda do
And
like the
he always,
that.
every time I'm home or Riley's home, our dad will try and like do some like karate moves on us, and he's actually smooth with it.
I got him figured out.
Yeah, I think he's smooth with it. Dad, you're smooth. You're smooth with
Mario.
it. And yeah, he is like a Bruce Lee like what's the word I'm looking for? Connoisseur. Yeah, loves Bruce Lee.
Movies.
And he's just got this natural like thing with it, and I always thought like, man, what if I actually like knew?
Daniel Caruso, the Karate Kid.
Daniel Caruso. LaRusso, not Caruso.
Well, yeah, I said Caruso too.
I'm not talking about Alex Caruso, right?
Alex Caruso.
Daniel LaRusso. That's what it is.
Anyways, but yeah, if I could beat somebody's A through karate instead of, then I would rather do that.
You're hilarious.
some good life.
Mine, lifelong kid dream was always NBA. So I mean, now I would still definitely do that. Professional triathletes definitely in the cards, but like out of the box of like current interest, you guys really know. You guys kind of know, but snowboarding. I would 100% be a pro snowboarder if I could. I think that's one of the coolest things. Like actually learning to ride and everything has been pretty enjoyable. So that would definitely be mine. And then second to karate, I think like boxing would be pretty sweet. We all picked a fighting combat sport that I'm like,
Yeah, that's
probably
true.
normally would
Imagine squatting up on people, bro. Like some ninjas.
So yeah, that was episode 2 of Comin Correct. I think it was really well. We went over our past fitness, current fitness, goals for the future, some kind of random topics in between.
Benefits.
A lot of benefits, how it integrates with like your emotional and other aspects of your life. There's also I think we had a really good points, some big hitters just to take away from the different aspects we talked on. So this is a really good episode.
If you watched up to this point, thank you. Thank you.
Leave something in the comments. We'll send you an email.
Follow us on Spotify. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, and we'll see
Be
you
on Apple Podcasts soon.
Yeah. If you enjoyed this, share it. Seriously, share it with your friends.
And
And share with us what we need to improve on, because we want you guys to come back and listen.
if it's hard to follow along with, let us know.
We get it.
We'll restructure it.
Yeah, really appreciate you guys watching. The first episode 0 did actually way better than we thought it would. So thank you. Yeah, we're building this for the long run. So
Comin Correct on the come up.
all right, boys, let's snap out of here.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
We appreciate you guys watching this episode. Appreciate you guys watching this episode. Shout out Ricky for the dope edits. Everything's here. Instagram, website, all the other social medias because I don't know how much he has. Joe, TikTok, my boy. Follow him. He's viral. Instagram, portfolio website. Riley, Iron Man, Instagram, LinkedIn, website. Me, Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube. Let's go, baby. Comin